Jefferson climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come on!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Round 2 Showdown show here for the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open today is looking more like the John Deere Classic today, as a couple 62s were shot today. Be interesting to see how this course sets up going forward. But we've got just an unreal amount, 36 guys under par. I mean, it's just absolutely wild out there. You got to go down to the cut line at T60 to find a guy over par. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays tomorrow. It was definitely gettable this morning. We saw Xander and Ricky go out there and shoot 62. So we've got a couple guys right there. Harman's 6 under. Rory's 5 under. There's a few other guys. DJ's 5 under right there. Wyndham Clark's 6 under with a few holes to go. So there could be some more 8 unders depending how on these guys finish. But what's going on, Drew? How's your stuff looking?
Yeah, it could be better for sure. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the scores here because it's terrible because guys are still playing on the West Coast. But Justin Rose is my guy that really sucked today, and we'll see if he has a chance to do something spectacular tomorrow. But outside of that, it looks pretty juicy with Siwoo Kim. Obviously, Fowler was kind of chalked outside of Rose in that same range. Wyndham Clark's doing good things. I mean, overall it looks good, but Rose is going to probably affect most of my 6 of 6s, which kind of stinks. But I don't know. I thought I would be excited to watch this event, and it just has a different vibe to it this week so far.
I'm already I was watching it for a while today, and seeing all these low scores kind of has me checked out. I was looking for some carnage, and I think
there's carnage. There's carnage from some guys, and it's a really weird thing. Like, I know people are arguing that give it time because there's obviously some carnage out there, and I would agree there's some carnage, but like to have someone shoot -8, there's not enough carnage. Like it should be like -2 or -3, and guys are shooting 80. It's like, if the guy shot 76, that's not carnage.
We could be seeing the PGA Championship take over the throne there for the sternest test in golf. I mean, the PGA Tour is definitely getting tougher over the years, and this U.S. Open is. I mean, it's early. I mean, they can definitely put the brakes on this course and such. It'll be interesting to see how they set it up for tomorrow. I kind of think that they'll kind of keep it rather the same as today. The weather looks the same. It's going to be kind of unfair if they just try and push the brakes on it and make it super tough tomorrow with these AM guys going out in the PM and not the same conditions and such. So I think it'll be set up rather the same, and then they'll really try and push it over the weekend. But I think it's going to be too far gone by then to really have much difficulty put into there. What's your thoughts on how they're going to set this place up tomorrow for the guys coming out, for the PM guys going out in the morning tomorrow?
Yeah, that's my issue is they can certainly do things to trick it up, like artificially. We've seen them do that in the past where they firm up some greens excessively and they put the pins in some suspect spots. So they can definitely do some things to toughen up the golf course and make scoring a little bit more difficult. But there's a fine line because you don't want it to be unfair. Like let's just assume that Ricky Fowler and Schauffele are just playing great golf and they keep this up, this kind of pace up somehow. You don't want to go to a point where this guy, someone makes like a 7 because like this pin, you can't be above the hole. It's going to go off the green 50 yards. It just, the USGA has done that in the past, which sucks because that's the USGA typically does a good job setting up tough tracks for the US Open, but they have done it where this is like a perfect storm this week where the guys get off to a really good start. The USGA thinks they eased it up too much and they go overboard, making it more difficult. And it becomes just terrible golf to watch and not very fun, certainly not to bet on. But we'll see how they do it. Like we were talking pre-show, I'm hoping they keep the conditions similar to what it is currently or what it was for today to give those PM guys a chance. I mean, there's still some PM guys going low.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a weather deal. but certainly get out early with some softer conditions and some nice greens. I mean, the bent grass early morning would be pure, obviously. So I think they should give it a chance. Let the guys, have one more day to kind of attack it like they did, and then on Saturday they can start to tighten it up a good bit, and obviously Sunday let it just keep firming up. But I would be kind of disappointed if they let it go ridiculous tomorrow. It'd be a little bit too soon, I think. I mean, it'd be like unfair. Like if you shot +2 today, like you're not out of the tournament yet. And if they go and trick it up tomorrow and you can't break par, then you are out of the tournament. And then Schauffele, Fowler, and McIlroy all run away with it because they just kind of shoot even par and they can separate themselves. So that's my view on it, I guess, is let's see one more day of low scores. And like decent scores, not even low scores, just decent scores. And then on the weekend, let's toughen it up.
Yeah, looking at the weather for tomorrow, today it's been under 10 miles an hour winds the whole day, it looks like. It was in that 5 to 8 miles an hour range pretty much the whole day, it looked like. And tomorrow, there could be some more wind coming in the afternoon, it looks like. I'm looking at Wind Finder right now. I'm seeing like 15 to 16 miles an hour winds in the afternoon with in the morning it's going to be like 5 to 7 miles an hour in the morning like it was today, pretty much the whole day there. But maybe tomorrow afternoon the winds come up and that gives some of those AM guys some troubles tomorrow as all the pressure comes down to making that cut line too when you go out in the PM, because if you go out in the early morning tomorrow and you shoot a score, you're not having as much pressure on you, I don't think, as if you're going out in the afternoon tomorrow and you're close to that cut line. I think every shot kind of matters more. So maybe, I'm not sure. That's just kind of a thing I kind of think about. You have any thought on that, on PM guys going out close to the cut line versus AM guys?
I mean, I think if it's similar to what it was today, I mean, the wind was mild all day, but it was more mild, obviously, in the morning. So that's kind of what I saw. I think I don't know. It still seems more prevalent just to attack the AM guys. And you just get the easier conditions for the golf course, not even weather specific. So that's kind of my view. I mean, there's still guys going low. So like what I would do is probably look at, I probably wouldn't chase Fowler and Schauffele, obviously, and we'll get into this in a second. But I would still play like elite guys that played in the morning that could go low in the afternoon, like a Scheffler. Obviously, that would be a good play for a PM guy. I wouldn't go chasing, a scrub in the PM. I would try to get as many guys as I can in the AM, but I'm not afraid of a really good play, like a bounce back, even like a Hatton or somebody in the PM wave.
Yeah, for sure. We can kind of dive into this in. Let's just go by the leaderboard that we have here. It looks like Xander and Ricky, they're at top, like I'm saying, but DJ's right there. He's at 600. He's got a few holes left. He's got par 5 left, so we could see DJ join him at 8 under tomorrow, and I think DJ is going to be one of those most popular options tomorrow. We can start at the top. Let's just go Ricky, Xander, DJ, Wyndham, Rory, and Harman, kind of the top 6 guys that are 5 under and better. I think DJ is going to be the most popular guy, 8,300, 802 tee time tomorrow. And then you got Clark, 740 tee time tomorrow. I think he's going to be very popular, 7,500. Rory is still under 10K, goes out in the morning. And then Brian Harman is near the bottom of the 7K range, only 7,100, going out at 813 in the morning. He's sitting at 5 under right now. He just made a bogey a couple holes back on 13, then parred 14, but is coming down that tough stretch there, 16, 17, 18, those 3 long par 4s here. What are you thinking with the guys up top here on the leaderboard right now?
Yeah, so I will preface this by saying I tried to pull our typical stats. The typical stats that I pull, obviously not all these guys have finished their round, but I try to do the best I can to make sure everything was accurate. So, yeah, for the top guys, the guys that really stood out that are playing well, DJ currently is striking the ball really well. He's 2 of 4 inside of 12 feet, and that's only counting 11 approaches. I think Xander, Ricky, Clark all played pretty solid tee to green. So again, they just have the best round. So it's just a matter of attacking that. But yeah, I think you're right. DJ, depending on where he finishes, is probably like the top target. Going to go off early. Tee to green, he's playing fantastic. He's 13 yards over the field in driving distance. He's hitting more fairways than anybody. I think he's actually number 1 or number 2 in driving accuracy, which is pretty impressive. So, I do like DJ here. We talk about this all the time of guys that we played for the full week. I didn't play any Harmon, so this would be a spot I would probably wait one more round to see if he's just playing really well or if today was just a good round out of nowhere kind of. So, I'm fine with Wyndham, but because he's only 7,500. But I think DJ is probably the top play on the slate for sure.
Yeah, and Wyndham actually just made a bogey on hole 17. He's on 18 right now. Just made bogey on 17. He's been really good with the short game today. He's gained almost 3 strokes around the green and then almost 2 putting as well. So I think we're going to see the short game definitely regress for Clark tomorrow. DJ has almost lost a stroke putting today, but he's leading the field in strokes gained tee to green at nearly 7 strokes gained there. So definitely like DJ there. Harmon, I had Harmon sprinkled in some. I might play him again tomorrow, though. He's going out early. I think he's a guy at 7,100. I kind of liked his deal coming in. I talked about him Tuesday on the show. 7,100 tomorrow is a fair price tag. Probably get to a little bit of him. 8:13 is a good tee time. And then Rory. I didn't really play Rory on the main slate. Sometimes you see him start out hot like this, and then the next day he just shows up with like a kind of a dud there. I think I'm going to be off of Rory tomorrow at 9,800. I'd actually rather play Xander over Rory at the top there for the $200. Even if he goes out in the afternoon, I think Xander is just kind of over the last couple of months. He's been more. I think he has a higher floor than Rory does. Rory's definitely got the higher ceiling, but I think Xander's kind of more so like the cash play. Like I had Xander as I thought Xander was the absolute cash nuts play.
He was probably
with his price and his upside and floor. So, I think I'm right there. And then we can jump down in.
I will say real quick for McElroy, like I'll be off of McElroy too. And what's interesting is he's leading the field in greens and regulation, I think. And again, these stats are going to be updating every other minute pretty much. But he actually hasn't hit a ton close. I know there's a few highlights in there, but like inside of 12 feet, he's only got 1 shot inside of 12 feet. That's not on a par 5. And it was on that long par 3. Everything else has been basically, outside of 20, 25 feet. So I think actually McElroy is a little bit – I think he's striking it well, but I don't think he's playing as well as like even Fowler played today. And obviously DJ, like I said, is my favorite on the slate. But I think McElroy will probably be like a misled play, I think, based on some of his numbers. So, I'll be off of McElroy as well.
I was trying to pull up his numbers from what he's done here recently. I'm trying to, like at the Wells Fargo, he comes out super hot in the first round, shoots 73 in the second round. He's done that a couple times. He was 66 at one time, goes 66, 70, 67, 69. So like the last 3 or 4 times he shot a good first round, he hasn't been able to back it up in round 2. I think we see something kind of similar to that. So I'll probably be off Rory going into tomorrow, and we can kind of jump into.
I think if you want to spin up, there's other guys we'll talk about here in a minute that you'll be much. I mean, you'll be a third or a quarter of the ownership of McElroy, and I think have equal upside based on what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, there's a guy I think he's still 1 over. He's playing in the same group as Rory. I think I'd rather play than him tomorrow to kind of bounce back. We'll get down there, though. -3 range, we can hit on that. Sam Bennett's at 4 under, but I'm not going to go there. I mean, it's wild to see him get up there contending again in another major. He finally dropped the amateur status, so he's professional now. -3 guys, Bryson, Scotty, Siwoo, Paul Barjon, Harris English, and Alex Noren. Alex Noren's out there. He's kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That well.
I know.
I was surprised to see his name up there. Harris English was the guy we talked about on the Tuesday show. I have a decent amount of him. And then Siwoo was that upside play that kind of got a little steam. He hit his irons really well like he has been today. Only gained 2 strokes with the approach. And Scotty, he kind of switched it up. I think he switched up the weights on his putter and added I think his putter has a longer aim line on it now, he said, and it's slightly lighter, so he can kind of get through the ball a little better. and it worked so far. I mean, he gained over a stroke, and I haven't seen him gain a stroke putting, and it feels like months since I've seen Scotty actually gain strokes putting. So if he can get that flat stick going and the irons going, I think he's a strong candidate there. The price tag is up top again at 11.4, but I think if I was going to play a PM guy, I think he would be one of the guys that I would definitely look to. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, for me, it's really Scheffler. I'm not going to chase Noren. I'm not going to chase Bennett. I will say Bennett's numbers look pretty good, but I'm kind of on a wait and see approach. He is very cheap, so if you want to jam in like Scheffler with McIlroy or Scheffler and Rahm or Hovland, Bennett's not a terrible one to go after because he has been hitting it pretty close, which is good to see. But yeah, Scheffler's the guy, man. I think 11.4 is tough to get to on most weeks, but there are a lot of values. I mean, a lot of guys in the 7K range and even like the mid or high sixes that I'm comfortable going to after seeing a little bit of what they have this week today. So yeah, I think Scheffler's the guy at 11.4. He's always elevated as far as ownership, but I don't know, 11.4, they're starting to spike him a bit that he's got to be sub 20. And I like 11.4, even for a PM guy. I mean, he was 3 of 5 inside of 12 feet. 4 of 7. He had 7 shots inside of 18 feet today. So like half of his approach shots are inside of 20 feet, basically. That's pretty good. So yeah, I don't see any reason to shy away from Scheffler. I could see him being like what we're talking about now with everybody in the afternoon, these top guys moving up the leaderboard, thinking about them shooting 59 at one point. You know what, McIlroy was 4 under through 6 or something like that. Scheffler would probably be the guy that would shoot 59 tomorrow in the PM wave. Like he would come out, make a couple putts, and he'll be 7 or 8 under through 12 holes, and then just keep it cruising. So I like Scheffler quite a bit, and there's really no one else in this range, to be honest. Like English, I think a lot of these guys' numbers look okay because they played well overall, but I don't think any stand out a ton. I think English is probably my second favorite that I would say. It's kind of due to his price at 7K. But he did hit it decent, like inside of 24 feet. He had 8 shots inside of 24 feet. So a little bit worse than Scheffler, but pretty good for a 7K player. So that's really just 2 guys.
I'm definitely on Harris English too. He'll be one of my favorite plays tomorrow at 7K. He goes out 7:29 tomorrow, so super early. He goes out, one of the first tee times out tomorrow. And looking at his stats, plus 2 strokes approach. He gained across the board today, strokes-wise. Yeah. Then you go back a couple events ago to the Charles Schwab there. He opens 65 and backs it up with a 66 with a second round AMT time in that event. So I really like Harris English tomorrow. I think he can back it up. So I'm going to be right back on him. I think he can go out there and shoot 2 or 3 under par again. Might even be a guy I look to on Underdog. I've been doing some Underdog price picks in the Discord chat. So head on over. Use that promo code SUMMER33 to get all of our product, all sports, one price. We're going to have the PGA Showdown playbook up later. We've got MLB in full swing, all sports, one price. Everything's going there. So head on over and join the movement. And then we're going to be in Discord all night and all morning leading up to lock tomorrow, answering any questions and all. But we can dive in. Do you have any thoughts on Bryson tomorrow? He's still under 8K, which is still a pretty cheap tag on him. I know it was pretty much all with the flat stick today, gained over 2 strokes with the flat stick. It was kind of break even with the irons.
I mean, he's a good putter anyway, so like it's not surprising that he would gain with the putter. He really just didn't hit it great. He was pretty inconsistent, I think. But in his round, he had positive shots of like he was +3 in strokes gained approach on his good shots, and he was -2.5 on his bad shots. So he was kind of really just, hot and cold. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on Bryson. He is under 8K, but I'm cool with waiting for him. And he's got a PM wave, so I don't feel like I'm pressed to play him. And like I said, there's still other guys. Like I think, to be fair, I think I would probably rather play Siwoo for 400 cheaper than Bryson tomorrow. And he's also going off in the PM just because I have a decent chunk of Siwoo being weighed down by Justin Rose. So, I'll wait on Bryson. We'll see.
Yeah, sounds good there. We can kind of dive into this -2 range. I know there's some guys out there right now, still like Finau, still out there. Sam Burns is out there. Sam Burns hit that hole-in-one on hole 15, the second hole-in-one on 15, and then he goes birdie birdie 16, and then the wheels kind of fell off on 17 and 18. Those two long par fours, he made bogey on both of those. But it's been a wild scorecard for Sam Burns. He's got 5 birdies, a hole in one, and 5 bogeys. So he's 2 under going into tomorrow. He's going to go out in the morning tomorrow, 8:02. Dailong Wu is a guy I was on for a punt play. He played well today. He was up near the top of the leaderboard for a while. He goes off in the afternoon tomorrow. Andrew Putnam is the guy I was kind of on as another cheapie. He goes out early tomorrow at 7:18 at 7K. I think he's fine. Ryan Fox played well. Max Homa played well. So what are you looking at here in these -2 guys?
Yeah, honestly, Homa's the guy that stands out the most to me. Dylan Wu is fine, but again, those are 2 PM guys. For the AM guys, I guess Finau and Burns are never bad plays in Showdown, and like their numbers don't look crazy great to me. Obviously, Burns is with a hole in one probably look pretty volatile, but I think they're fine for targets in the AM wave. So for me, I think if I'm going to spend up, like I think Homa's a good one. I think Dylan Wu's fine for a cheap guy if you need 6,500 to fill out a roster spot. But yeah, I think Finau and Burns are good targets, despite like honestly the volatility on this golf course is probably something I want to lean into. So they're not hitting it as close as some of the other guys, but they also get the AM weather, AM softness, whatever you want to say to that effect. I think that would give them a little bit of a bump based on their stats for this afternoon. So yeah, I think they're cheap enough too. I mean, Sam Burns, 7,600, is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 7,600, 8:02 a.m.
So I think that's a pretty strong play. 7,600 for Sam Burns.
Tasty.
I mean, people priced around him. I'll just throw out a name really quick. I guess Mito's there. Taylor Montgomery's 200 cheaper. I mean, no one's going to play him. There's probably people above him that people aren't going to play. So, yeah, I think Sam Burns is a really interesting one, and for significant value, to be fair. Yeah,
for sure. If Finau is going to putt like this tomorrow, too, he lost strokes off the tee, which is normal for him. But if he can get that flat stick rolling again tomorrow, he gained over 2 strokes putting today.
A couple were par putts, too. So
yeah, the last one I just looked at was a long par putt save. So that's interesting.
So, like I said, I think still for an AM guy, he's one of the guys that could shoot 5 or 6 under, so it's not the worst play in the world to get those guys going off early, even despite their stats. Like I said, they don't stand out to me, but if I wanted to pick anybody in the AM wave, they would probably be like probably one of the betting favorites, I guess, to shoot, 5 or 6 under.
Yeah, and we kind of dive into this 1 under range. We got some pretty big names down here in this 1 under range. We got John Rahm, Victor Hovland, Cameron Smith. I was on Cameron Smith. I got on him late. He was kind of getting I started to see some stuff about him that I liked. He's been up and down today. 4 birdies and 2 bogeys. So he's up to 2 under now, I guess. He just made a birdie, it looks like. On hole 17, he made a birdie. He's on 18 now. Phil Mickelson's even right here. We know JSU's probably happy. His boy Phil is 1 under. He was actually doing really well. He made a bogey on 17 and then on this front 9, and then he finished on the front 9 and went bogey 6 and 7. He was sitting at 3 under for a while. Any thoughts for you here on these 1 under guys? I know our guy Eric Cole's right there again. He's playing well. He had the putter going really well for him. Rahm had the putter going today. Cameron Smith had the putter. Cameron Smith had a couple of up and downs that were pretty remarkable today as well, which is no surprise with how good he is with the short game.
Yeah, to be honest, this is probably going to be a range I don't have a ton of exposure to. I'm fine with Cameron Smith. He gets a $100 price bump off of the full week slate, but he does get the AMT time, so I'm fine going there. The rest of the guys in this range, I'm not super interested. Rahm, I would be. If he was going off in the AM, try to get some leverage off of McIlroy or Scheffler if people go high or low. But Hovland does stand out to me as playing pretty well today, but he does get the PM side, and he's fairly expensive for shooting only 1 under and not doing anything super flashy. He was under the field in greens and regulation, I think, too. So
He started out rough today, though. He was 3 over through 5 holes, I think, today, Hovland was. So he battled back strong. He made that deuce on hole 2, though, so that definitely helped things out there.
I'll probably have some, but there's really nobody in this range I have a ton of conviction on. Even Cameron Smith is like an okay play for me. Going off in the morning, he hasn't been really that sharp. Like, give him credit. I mean, he's played okay in some of the live events, but even since coming to the Masters and in the PGA, like, it hasn't looked terribly great. So, there's not really anyone in here. I will say what's interesting is Ben Carr at 6,100. I don't think I'm going to need to go down to 6,100, but I will say the dude made absolutely nothing and played pretty good, and now he tees off in the morning. I don't know if he's finished his round off or not. Let's see where he's at. So he's through 14. He's 100 through 14. He's an amateur. Like I said, I probably won't go there, but he is 6,100, and he is 0 for everything. He has not made a putt inside of even 6 feet. So for birdie, I should say for birdie, not for par. Ben Carr's might be an interesting punt at 6,100. If he shoots 1 or 2 under at 6,100, I mean, you could do a lot of stuff with the extra salary. I mean, just think about if you save salary from who was that? Sam Burns we just talked about. Yeah. I mean, now you're dropping $1,500. You could probably take $1,500 off of someone else in the 7K range, and now you're back up into the 9K range. So, just throwing that out there as an interesting play. I probably won't do it, but he does look like he's playing pretty solid this afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm going to play some Cam Smith again tomorrow. I did read a clip about him last night. I was kind of digging through some stuff, and I seen a quote from him saying that he got really lethargic and kind of didn't really practice much at all once he got to live. He took all that money, and so he was kind of rusty
for that.
Yeah, he's like, I was really rusty coming into the Masters. He's like, I hadn't even really played much. He says he's finally getting back into form where he was previous last year when he was heading into the majors. So that's what kind of got me onto him more so last night, just reading some of that stuff. I believe him too. I mean, that dude just loved to go out and fish and stuff. I think that's what he was doing, was just being pretty lethargic. He said kind of just mailing it in there. He already secured the bag and didn't really care too much, like a lot of those live guys did. I don't think a lot of those live guys really cared too much going out there. We can dive into this even par range. We got a pretty wide range here. Even par, it looks like. Jordan Smith's at the top of my sheet. You got Gary Woodland or Corey Connors, Adam Hadwin, Vincent Norman. Some names in there. Nick Taylor's off the win there. Corey Pierre, it must be Mito's brothers in there as well. Anything jumping off the page to you here with this even par range? I've seen Bronk lost a lot putting and gained everywhere else, so that's kind of interesting. Nothing really jumps out at me. I know Stuart Sink made an eagle late to he made an eagle on 8 to kind of get back to even par there.
Yeah, I think this is a good range, actually. There's a few guys, and they're all really cheap. So I think Mito at 7,500 grades out extremely well for me. He had 7 shots inside of 18 feet and only made one of them. He only made one inside of 12 feet for birdie. So I like Mito. Minwoo Lee, I like Nick Taylor. So those 3 right there. Justin Suh. And Corey Connors is a PM guy, but I'll probably have exposure to him. I can't quit Connors. He played extremely solid today, tee to green. He did make a couple putts. He made 2 putts inside of 18 feet, which is impressive. But, he played really well, tee to green, 7,700. There's a good example there. 7,700 Corey Connors is more expensive than Sam Burns. I mean, I would probably take Burns over a ceiling any day. So there you go. But, I really do like this range. Mito, Suh, Minwoo Lee, and Nick Taylor are probably my 4 favorites. And then Corey Connors is a fine filler if you want to go there.
Yeah, I agree right there with you guys. Pretty much locks up in there. I may even look to some Nick Hardy a little bit, going off super early, 6:56 a.m. He's got some upside.
I got one more for you. Yeah. He was down at the bottom of my list. He just made a bogey, so he popped into the +1. So I have him at even, but it's Munoz at 6,800. Yeah, Munoz looks decent. Yeah. and he goes off at 8:35 in the morning. He's gaining the field on driving accuracy, greens and regulation. He's got 5 shots inside of 18 feet. He's only made 1 putt inside of 18 feet all day. I like Munoz tomorrow going off early. That's probably the cheap guy that I'll go to. I just talked about Ben Carr, but Munoz is probably the guy I think that could shoot a 64 here.
I kind of like some Minwoo Lee too at 6,700. He goes off early. Hasn't really got much going at all today. Lost a half a stroke putting, but has gained off the tee and with the approach there. Yeah. 1 bogey, 1 birdie. Just really hasn't got anything going on. He's got that par 5 8th coming up here in a couple of holes, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get anything going there to end the round. Then we kind of dive into this large range at 1 over. There's some pretty big names here as well. We got like Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, Patrick Rogers is in here. I did play some of the UCLA kid here. I played some Omar. I think I played like 2% of Omar. He was 3 under for a while, but caught up to him there on the back 9. He shot 39 on the back 9 after shooting 32 on the front 9. It'll be interesting to see if the UCLA kid, who's played here a ton of golf, he says he's played here quite often. Let's see if he can battle through for the cut line there or not. I played him in some like Brooks Scotty teams and such. I jammed him on a couple of them just for fun. Kind of as like a lottery ticket there, but anything jumping out to you here? Like Russell Henley's at 1 over. Brooks is right there. I think Brooks is still at 1 over. I know he just made that. He had a pretty good par save there. Denny McCarthy's at 1 over. Any thoughts on these guys for you? I have Mito right here at +1, minus 1.5 strokes putting. Cameron Young's here. Matthew Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Brooks is still right there. Brooks even parred that par 5. That's kind of hurtful. But anything you like down here?
Yeah, I think my favorite play in this range is Jordan Spieth. But I will say, if you played any Brooks this week, I think Brooks is the guy you would want to target predominantly tomorrow morning. 10-7, he's super expensive. He didn't play well today, obviously, and he's got a couple holes left. But if he's going to get back into it, he's going to have to do it through a pretty low round tomorrow. So hopefully he still has it from the PGA Championship and the Masters, and he just had a rough start today, wasn't prepared, whatever it is. But I think Brooks is probably the guy that has the most motivation to kind of back up his poor play today, especially with McIlroy going well. I mean, he's 6 under right now. I think Brooks has got a lot of narratives you could probably float towards him posting a really good score tomorrow. And if this is going to play low, he's won 3 PGAs and 2 US Opens, but he won Aaron Hills and it was 17 under par or something like that. So
then he won the next year at a completely different setup.
Exactly. So if he's gonna come play this course and guys are shooting 8 under par, I want to have, especially because I played him in the full week, I want to have some exposure to Brooks tomorrow. If he's going to get back into it, he's going to have to do it through a low round tomorrow. Obviously, he could still squeak through the cut not doing that, but I think if he's going to actually win, which is what he always says he only cares about, he's going to have to do it and get off to a good start tomorrow and go low. So Brooks will probably be the top target for me, but I think Spieth is probably the best play. I know his approach numbers look poor. I think he's got a couple holes left, but he's honestly hit his good shots really close. He's got 4 shots inside of 12 feet. He's got 3 shots inside of 6 feet. So his ceiling is getting close. I think he's just all over the place on the holes he's missed the fairway. So yeah, I do like Spieth quite a bit. But there's a ton of guys. I don't want to list a ton, but I think this range is pretty good for the top names. I mean, Morikawa, Sungjae Im, Russell Henley, Denny McCarthy, all those guys are totally fine to go back to tomorrow, even though they're in the PM. So they're just so cheap. I mean, Morikawa 8,800, it's pretty cheap. I know he had a rough day, but he's still hitting a lot of fairways, a lot of greens, and could turn it around at any point. So yeah, it's a pretty strong range. I got them listed. Probably the bottom for me is all the no names, and I probably won't play any of them. Even Cameron Young's down there. I'm not going to play any Cameron Young at 7,800. But yeah, the top names in this range are very enticing. Yeah,
for sure. I think Brooks is playing about as worst as he can. I think he should even. I mean, he's made some long and good par putt saves. He's gotten up and down a couple of times.
Yeah.
I was watching pretty much a lot of his round, and even the announcers were saying that he could easily be like 4 or 5 over par, but he's had some good saves in there. And sometimes it's not about going low; it's just about trying to stay even kilter and then get into tomorrow.
Exactly.
And go low. So, and he's only hit 3 fairways today, which is absolutely horrible for him. Usually in these majors, he's full guns blazing off the tee. So I think he's definitely my top target here. I like the Spieth call at 9K. He goes off at 813 as well. Morikawa does go off in the afternoon. Some other cheapies here, maybe like an Austin Eckroat. He isn't a bad name at the price there. Henley must have battled back because I seen he was doing. Yeah, he shot 3 over on the front 9. The back 9, he's definitely battling back. He's on 18 right now. I had quite a bit of him. He was a soldier for me, so hopefully he can get it going. Justin Suh lost a stroke putting. He hasn't really done anything on the par 5s either, except for hole 1. He did. He's going to 7 right now. It looks like.
Yeah, I mentioned him at the even par range because I pulled the scores when we started the show, so he must have made a bogey to get the +1. But yeah, I do like Suh for tomorrow as well.
Definitely. And then getting into these -2 guys, we're kind of getting down there. It's interesting. I heard a deal about Billy Horschel. It was actually interesting why he's been playing bad. He went out to California last week and met with a different club pro and an equipment guy. Turns out he switched irons from I can't remember what he was at, and he switched to a different brand this time, and they messed up his irons and they were too upright. So he wasn't able to get through on his cut shot, and his game went to shit because his clubs were set up wrong for him, I guess. He was on the Subpar podcast I listened to earlier this week, so that's kind of funny. So he thinks he got it all figured out. They built him some new clubs that got him built right this time, so that was kind of funny.
I call bullshit on Billy Ho for that. I don't know. I could notice like a degree too upright. Yeah. If the dude's got like 3 degrees too upright, then he's just lost in his mind, I guess. But yeah, you could send me. I play 1 degree flat. You could send me standard lies, and I would know off the first shot that it's too upright. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
For him, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's a good excuse though if he wants to use that and he feels good about it. But no, I don't buy that at all.
He actually hit the irons better today. He gained approach. It lost 2 strokes putting there. Probably won't get to him though. Patrick Cantlay was the guy that a lot of people were going to. He hit his irons really bad on his front 9, which is the back 9, which is the more, I think, a couple of those holes are definitely tough. There's a couple of scoreable holes there though, but he definitely did not do good there. Hideki's right there at 2 over. He just made a birdie on 15 after he went for it on 14. Right before we got on the show, I seen he went for it on 14. Got into a bad lie, had to kind of punch out and made par there on the par 5 14th, and then backed it up with a birdie on 15. It looks like that short par 3 there. So he's back to 2 over. And then Patrick Reed, the guy that Discord was just tilting their minds off of after that front 9 40, he battled strong on what was his back 9, what was the front 9. So it was good to see Mr. Reed battle back strong, even though he lost over 3 strokes with the approach. Anything here in this +2 range, I think Reed is all right. I don't know if I'd go. I got enough of Patrick Reed on the main slate that I don't need to double down on him tomorrow. But what's sticking out to you here with these +2 guys right around the cut line? I think we could possibly see a +2 cut tomorrow, but it's definitely going to be close.
Yeah. There's really just one guy in this range for me. I know it's a pretty big range, but the only guy that I have interest in is Taylor Pendrith going off at 707, 7,100. Played pretty well today. Yeah.
It was terrible for him, it looks like.
Yeah, he made nothing. So he had 9 shots inside of 24 feet, 4 inside of 18 feet. So played pretty well for the PM guys that are down in this price and in this range. So yeah, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to play anybody in this range, but Pendrith, I have a little interest at 7,100 for him.
Yeah, I'm just kind of diving through here. I don't know I'll always put Keegan in the Showdown playbook. He goes out early. You never know what he's going to shoot. He can go out there and shoot.
Well, Kurt will tell you he's a Saturday guy. I don't think he's a Friday guy. Saturday's his day.
Yeah.
But he had a rough go today. He was way down on driving accuracy, way down on greens and regulation. Kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, he lost over 2 strokes approach. I think he is actually a guy I might look to tomorrow at 7,500 as like a good tournament play. I mean, he could definitely go out there and shoot 85 tomorrow, but he could also go out there and shoot 65. That's the funny thing about Keegan Bradley going into Sahith is a guy I may look to 751 tee time. He's still got that mid 7K price tag, which I think is fine. He's a Pepperdine guy. Has some history here.
It's weird though. He's the same price as Sam Burns, right?
Yeah,
it's weird to even throw them in the same category, right? I guess. And I'm not a big Burns guy, but I just feel like at 7,600, Burns he could hurt you if you don't play him.
I think we're gonna see depressed ownership on a lot of these guys over par after what we saw today, and people just gravitating towards the guys even par.
There's not. Yeah, I mean, you could group this range as we go down past that. Like I said,
just group the rest of this together if you want.
There's really nobody. I'll look to see. Obviously,
still doesn't have it. Jason Day had a rough day. Adam Scott had a rough day. Adam Scott was just bad all around today. I mean, he lost over 3 strokes total.
Yeah, I don't think there's a necessity to go down here. Like the guys that you could talk me into would be like a Hatton. Hatton played decent, and he's going to be 0.8% owned because he shot 4 over. He's going off in the PM. Hatton, I could probably be convinced to play in the large GPP, 100K to first. But outside of that, there's not much. Now. What's that?
Spieth just made a double. He's down here in the +3 range now.
No, I'll still play some Spieth.
Yeah,
he's just. I just think the good guys, the good players, are always a threat to shoot 64, 63. Yeah, and sometimes the bad scores help them. To be honest, like mentally speaking, like Schauffele and Fowler are in position. Like, hey, I want to go out and play good tomorrow. Spieth and Brooks are thinking, I need to shoot like 60 tomorrow. Like that's like their only mindset. It's not like, let's just see how it goes. Yeah, Schauffele and Fowler are like, let's shoot a couple under, or let's see how the field's moving in the morning. But for Spieth, like, I hope he shoots 80. I hope he doubles his last 4 holes or whatever he's got left and shoots 80, so I can play him at 2%. But there's not really anybody down here. Most of these guys are scrubs, or I haven't been playing a ton, or they're going off in the PM, and I'm not really interested. Kitayama was like under par at one point, I thought. And
I thought I'd seen he started out not terrible, but I guess he did start out pretty bad. Never mind.
Maybe it was even through 1. Maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah, that's what it was. He parred that first hole, that par 5. He got.
A nice par on his par 5. Yeah.
Michael Kim's down here. Carson Young's down here. Yeah, I just don't see myself getting the too many guys, if any, down here. Tom Kim was having a rough day out there as well. Again, I seen he missed. Might have been a couple of holes ago. I seen he missed like a 2-foot par putt, which is just a rough scene there for the choo-choo train or whatever they call him.
Well, Fowler or McIlroy made par on 1 hole, I think, and it was like he had like 5 feet or 6 feet, and it probably broke like 8 or 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he overread the break, but I mean, some of these putts. I mean, for those guys that shoot 8 under, is still pretty impressive. And now DJ's is 7 under, which is pretty good. But I mean, there are some tough pins, and like some of those putts I've seen are, I don't know how they're making 20-footers like they are. Like we just talked about, who was that? Finau made like a long putt for par.
Yeah,
I think someone else in his group made a long putt for par too. It's like that doesn't make any sense. 2 guys make 25-footers in the U.S. Open for par. I want to see 3 putts from 25 feet.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I was interested to see how Tommy Fleetwood was going to respond after that playoff loss last week. He had a pretty wild scorecard today. He was 3 over. He made 5 bogeys and 2 birdies. didn't do much of anything on the par fives. Yeah, he played the par fives at 1 over on the 3 of them, so he could regress. Or he lost over 3 strokes putting. Fleetwood did, but I don't think I'll get there.
He drove it well. He didn't. Yeah. His irons were okay, not great, but he putted. He didn't make anything.
No, yeah, I didn't really get to him on the main slate. 8K, he's priced at 8K and 110 tee time tomorrow.
No, I won't play that.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna get there. Head on over to Run Pure Sports and check out the SaberSim product that we have there too. The 33% off includes SaberSim, which is the best deal we've ever offered for the SaberSim add-on there. We've got the Showdown playbook or Showdown stuff loaded on to SaberSim with the salary, the tee time, the score, the projections, everything all in one spot. You can build all your lineups, 150, 20, whatever your style is there. So head on over. Use that promo code SUMMER33. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already as well. Really helps bring these free shows to you guys. We can kind of end this out with a core play then. Put a core out for the guys here. U.S. Open, we can each pick 2. You can start things off here if you want.
Put me on the spot. I guess I tell you who I do like for tomorrow. He's going to be pretty low on. And Big T like this too. I like Mr. Justin Suh.
Okay, yeah. That's
solid. Off at 824. He just seems like a nice. Showdown play. I don't even know what his best finish is lately, but I feel like every week he has one slate for Showdown that he shoots 6 under par.
Yeah, he has some upside for sure.
Yeah,
I might just go with the quote-unquote possible free square on Sam Burns at 7,600, 802. I don't think he's going to get too after it tonight. He's going to have to buy drinks for a few people tonight, but he's going out in the morning tomorrow, 8:02 a.m., 7,600. That's just too good of a price tag, I think, for him there. We were both kind of on him there. Where else are you leaning then?
So I guess the question is how chalky is DJ going to get if he gets to 8 under here on 18? 8,300 for him seems like, Sam Burns might be the free square, but DJ seems like the guy at 8,300 that should be 2,000 more expensive.
I hope he doesn't get there because I got a decent ticket on Xander for the first round leader. I don't want it to get chopped down again.
Yeah. So I think DJ would probably be the guy. Honestly, if I was building a core, it would be DJ, not considering ownership of my other players. So I'll throw DJ in there. 8,300 for him. He's playing so good. I don't see that not continuing tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we've got enough salary. We can fit Koepka in there too at 10-7. I really like him going out tomorrow morning and
love it. Yeah,
lighting it up tomorrow. So that should be a pretty good starting point with some plenty of flexibility there going forward as well. Any final thoughts as we kind of round this thing out, Drew?
No, let's hope the USGA doesn't screw it up more than they already have. And hopefully it's a fun weekend. If it gets super bunched, that would be fun actually. Honestly, outside of those 3 or 4 guys or 5 guys, I guess, that are 6 under or better, it's pretty jammed from 3 under to even par. There's 50 guys basically, 50 guys, for even par to -5, I think. So yeah, give me some of that for the weekend. Give me a bunch of guys around the lead. That'd be fun. Yeah,
I think we'll see Ricky definitely come back. I don't see him going wire to wire for sure. He usually has the Sunday scaries, but he was the biggest leverage play, like the sharps to the squares, as that tweet was out, the 888 versus the $25. Ricky Fowler was the highest percentage change for the high stakes to the low stakes. He's up there. They were definitely right on that, but I think that's going to do it for us tonight. I'll have the Showdown playbook up here soon on the site there. We'll have the core plays up as well. We'll be in Discord all night as well. But that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. As always, hit the like on your way out. For Drew, I'm Snyder. We'll catch you next time.